What is a GMP in construction management? The GMP sets the target, and once we have that target, we can win. In this video, I'm going to show you what a GMP is, how we can use it to our advantage, and why knowing this information is crucial to your success. So a GMP stands for a guaranteed maximum price, and it's a contractual arrangement for a project that sets the maximum price for that project, with the understanding that the general contractor will not exceed that maximum amount. And GMPs are often used in design build and CM at risk contract delivery methods to give the owners some cost certainty. So this is typical project management talk, right? So pretty general stuff. You've heard it probably your first day in construction. We have a GMP. What's the GMP? When are we going to reach a GMP, right? What is our guaranteed maximum price for this contract delivery method? And so why do you want to know about this, or why would you want to know more? Because it becomes a tool for you as you're managing the project. So first, I want to talk about what a GMP actually is, and then how we can use it to our advantage to run a remarkably stable project. So first and foremost, the GMP establishes a maximum cost for the project, and it creates a cap for what the owner will pay. Labor, materials, and profit to establish that maximum cost or that cap. The second component to this overall GMP topic is cost control. The general contractors get to manage the budget to that price or under that price throughout with careful cost monitoring. So it sets that target and it allows the team to manage the costs. Number 3, let's talk about shared savings and overruns. There may be a shared savings clause in the contract that says any amount of money below that guaranteed maximum price will go to the owner, or go to the owner and contractor, or go to the contractor, or in some percentage. But typically the overruns are the responsibility of the general contractor. So there are some opportunities there if it's in the contract. The key to all of this is the pre-construction phase. We are not getting a design and then we bid and then a contractor is selected and then we build right away. We as general contractors and as trade partners get to be involved in the pre-construction efforts. So that means the design, the schedule, the budget, the constructability, everything leads towards that guaranteed maximum price. That means that we can get some certainty around what the project will cost and steer that project, the total budget for that project, towards that stipulated sum or the target GMP that has already been set by the owner. In pre-construction, we get to participate with that and make sure our schedule matches, our budget matches, our constructability matches, our approach to the project matches, and that the design, the cost of the design to build that project is within the proper budget, so that when we take everything together, we know that it will fit within that price. So let's talk about number 4, change orders. So once we have a design, we have a plan, we have a schedule, we know how we're going to build this project, we now have established a GMP. Now, if something changes after that, that will be covered under a change order. That change order can increase the amount in the guaranteed maximum price or the GMP, and it can extend the schedule, but typically, instead of doing that, the owner and the contractor will partner and take it out of contingency within the budget and within that overall guaranteed maximum price. And so, as a part of establishing a GMP, the design builder or the construction manager at risk, that is then at risk to deliver that project within that GMP, has, and I'll say the word again, a certain amount of risk with that. So the design, the plan, the schedule, the approach, everything must be vetted so that there's a high level of certainty that the contractor and trades can build it for that guaranteed maximum price. This gives a little bit of risk, a little bit more risk to the contractor, and provides some cost certainty for the owner. But the bottom line is that we have to understand that you are at risk to build that project for that guaranteed maximum price unless you amend the contract with a change order. So what I want to go over now, what are some of the key steps that we must take to establish a proper GMP? So I'm going to give you 6 steps that I love to follow in pre-construction, and at every step I'm going to mention how we can head in the direction of targeting a proper guaranteed maximum price. So step number 1, win the project. So this is where you're going to be submitting proposals or doing interviews for an RFP or an RFQ, and you will have the opportunity to, with your team, go propose and try to win that project. Now, from the very start, you will be having discussions about your conceptual estimating abilities, about your schedule. Hopefully you have a macro level TAC plan. You'll be talking about the project approach from day one. All of these approaches, meaning your schedule, your conceptual estimate, your experience with these types of buildings, will start to provide the framework for how you're going to approach this project, and will help you set a GMP in the end. So phase number 2, build the team and set parameters. So this is key. Not only at the beginning of your pre-con phase do you want to have the right team overall, right? From the owners, from the design team, the engineering team, which is a part of the design team, right? Any other stakeholders, right? And your project manager and your superintendent who will help plan the project. But once you have that team in the right meeting system, working with the design, doing constructability reviews, real-time budgeting, right? You will want to make sure that as soon as you can, you set the right parameters. Here's what I mean. The owner and the design team will be asking you for your budget throughout the pre-construction phase. And if you undercut that budget, most of the time, your owner and your designers will start to fixate on that number. So I always say, in the conceptual design phase, schematic design phase, maybe even early design development phase, we want to have a macro level TAC plan that establishes an overall total project duration so that we can get really good numbers for our general conditions, our general requirements, loop those into the budget, and make sure that our budget from day one is starting to reflect an accurate total cost for the project. Here's what happens if you don't. If you early on in design say, well, this project's going to cost $22 million, right? And then the design develops, we have a better schedule, and then you surprise them with, oh, this is going to cost $24 million. Then people are going to be upset. They will design something that fit within that original number. And then when you say, oh, actually we need more for our staff or for the general requirements to run the project, they're going to have to start cutting back that design. And you will have an angry owner and angry designers. So right out of the gate, as you're building the team, set the parameters, get that schedule, understand generally on your macro level TAC plan how long that project's going to take, put the total amount for your general conditions in that budget, put the total amount for your general requirements, and start targeting the right number from the very beginning. This will help you to establish a GMP in the end. Step number 3, this is what I call adapting to and enabling the design team. So they will, when they go from the conceptual design to schematic design and going into design development, they will be experimenting with different massing, different floor plates, right? They will then start to solidify how the building is going to look, what the features are, the materials, and they will start to develop that design. That's why they call it design development. As they flesh that out, we should be able to, as general contractors and as trade partners, be able to provide real-time feedback for the schedule and for the budget so that they know what those decisions are affecting, how it affects schedule and cost throughout as quickly as we can. We always say real time. Sometimes you need a little bit of time to respond, but it shouldn't really be design react. It should be a discussion, and we should be able to provide budget and schedule information as the designers are designing so that we don't increase our budget and then have to cut to establish a GMP, so that we can actually target that GMP amount, that stipulated sum, from the beginning and as we go. Step number 4, you are making a plan throughout with the owners and the design team. Hopefully you are on track with your target for your guaranteed maximum price. Hopefully this is all working out, but here's the key. We have to confirm that the plan, the schedule, the budget, and our approach are all aligned. So in the design development phase, or in the phase that I call bring on the builders and finalize your plan with the builders, you will want to make sure that the project manager and the project superintendent and any of the key trade partners have bought into the plan, finished their TAC plan, finished their zone maps, finished their logistics plan, finished their basis of schedule, basically all of the planning documents that we need that says this is the plan, and that we can confirm confirm that that plan can be built for that cost. This is going to happen throughout the design, development, and CD phase of design, and it must happen that all of our final planning documents aligns with that budget before we get into the CD phase and finalize our GMP submission. Then the last step is to finalize all planning documents and make sure that everything is well communicated. So, like I said, by that time, you have a macro level TAC plan, you have your zone maps, you have your logistics drawings, you have your trailer drawing, your accountability chart, you have your basis of schedule, all planning documents. And through your constructability reviews, now you and the design team have finalized a set of construction documents or contract documents that should clearly articulate and communicate the design. So now you should have everything you need and the certainty to go ahead and finalize your budget and establish a GMP, a guaranteed maximum price, and to submit your final GMP submission and to sign the prime agreement. So the key to all of this is that throughout the process, you are in an integrated way, always monitoring your schedule, you're always monitoring the constructability, you're always analyzing your approach, and you're always seeing how that affects your budget. And instead of going up and down, you are going to attempt through integration, good communication, and good partnering to target that guaranteed maximum price with as few surprises as possible. The key is to involve the builders, to partner with the owners and the design team, and then to clearly communicate the plan so that any handoffs, any transition from pre-con to construction establishes that clear plan, and then you can manage the project within that guaranteed maximum price. So for me, that target is amazing because it allows us to strategize and hit the number. It allows us to validate the plan and hit the number. It allows us to manage around and hit that number. So when you hear GMP and construction, you should hear target and then target a plan that can hit the number. If you want more discussion, coaching, information about how to work through that pre-construction process, how to establish a GMP, how to deliver that GMP submission, or how to manage to it during construction, please reach out to us at our website that I'll link to you in the description below. We would love to hear from you. We always provide consulting, training, and project support for anybody who needs it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.